of written a lot about how to develop agency, how to autonomy of the system, and how to help the system. And I think that one of the advantages of your approach is that you work, you put the child at the center of it all, and you support that child emotionally, and that makes a huge difference because you let the child explore, or the person explore its own sensations and those in relation to the environment. So the process of learning how to own your own actions then becomes feasible.
It's pretty cool. And like I said, what's coming from it is more communication as well, even for the kids who had no control over their mouths. Once their bodies became more organized and they started to learn that cause and effect, or that they could have agency on things, we then bring it up to their communication. You know, some of them were being diagnosed with motor tics and motor disorders. And these are the same kids that once we just started to approach them differently, and give them these experiences, they're have some of the best motor planning you could imagine. And they're going from, like I said, just this very purposeless actions all day long and attention seeking behavior to, they're putting office chairs together for their mom to go to work in. And, it's pretty interesting. But you also see the changes in their facial expressions, their affect. So one little boy, for the first time at like 14 or 15, he cried, he laughed, he got angry, because he was so much more in tune with his world and his body. And so I remember the first time he got really angry about something, and the staff were saying, "Oh, no, no, no." And I was like, "No, hallelujah. This kid is 14 years old and he's never expressed an emotion in his life. This is good."
The fact that we communicate and we have this synergy is very good, because we bring to the table both bodies of knowledge, your experience day to day. You see more than anyone could see in a lab, because when you come to the lab, you come for an hour, you come, if you're lucky to do a longitudinal study, maybe you come for 6 months, once a month or something, and you see the child every day. So you have like the upper hand on that intuition, and that can guide a lot of the research out there. We have the upper hand on the level of detail and the sort of theoretical framework that we can use to operationalize that, to actually put the math behind it in a way that is reproducible. And with the kids in the spectrum is similar. It's a similar situation. Their feedback is, it's different, and so the brain has to find ways to utilize what they have. And what you can do as a therapist, and what you are providing to that child, is an alternative form of feedback that sensory substitutes and augments what they're lacking because of whatever issues they have. So that's your serving, your emotional support serves as another augmented feedback. And the rationale behind it is because we are inherently social beings, and it doesn't matter that you're autistic. The whole notion that they're antisocial or don't have empathy or whatever is a myth created by the behaviorism approach, which left them out of the loop. It was a perspective of this group of people who were well-intentioned but dramatically wrong, and so created this perception, and that's what they think. All these kids have an enormous capacity for social interactions. It's there. They all want to be nurtured and emotionally supported, and you're providing that support.
It is a tremendous honor for me to introduce our next honoree, Dr. Elizabeth Torres. She is a true pioneer in the field of research. She puts the science behind the work that we do every day. This is critical in order to document what we do and to demonstrate outcomes to insurance companies in order to make our intervention approach available to the majority of people who need it. The Murray G. Osgood Innovation Award honors individuals whose contributions to the field of special needs significantly improves the lives of this community and their families. My dad loved technology very much. He always had to have the latest gadgets and had a habit of telling us about how great his latest toy was over and over and over again. As with past recipients of this award, Dr. Torres' work uses cutting-edge technology. This technology is used to understand the unique sensory motor systems of autistic individuals in contrast to their neurotypical peers and development. This research reinforces the intuition that ASD is not a cognitive or intellectual disorder, but rather a disorder of integration of our thoughts and actions. Torres has authored 2 peer-reviewed printed books, 3 peer-reviewed electronic books related to autistic somatosensory motor differences, and over 60 peer-reviewed publications with well over 500,000 online hits on her translational research. She has developed new scientific methods to evoke bodily autonomy and agency in autism and created a new vision for the only New Jersey Autism Center of Excellence that is funded by the New Jersey Governor's Council for the Medical Research and Treatments of Autism and the New Jersey Department of Health. Dr. Torres is not only a highly respected researcher, but she is also a huge advocate of presuming competence and recognizing the true intellectual capacities of people with autism. I have had the distinct privilege to work with her multiple times at CTC and also reaching a global audience through her gracious work speaking at Perfectum conferences. It is my great pleasure to award Dr. Elizabeth Torres with the Murray G. Osgood Innovation Award at this year's Let's Play Gala.
And I have to say, this is a team effort, so it's not just me. I work with a very multidisciplinary team. A lab is like it brings together people from many different walks of life, ages, skill sets, and so it's more of the job of harmonizing everybody and integrating the knowledge that everybody brings. And on top of that, we have collaborations with all over the world. Israel, Spain, Canada, Australia, you name it. We get to collaborate with a lot of people on what we do. And so the contribution really is integrating disparate areas of knowledge that have been in autism existing on their own right and not talking to each other. So that's really something that my lab and then later on the Center of Excellence has achieved is this integration of different knowledge bases. So thank you for this award and for hosting me here today. I'm very happy that we crossed paths once way back in 2014, I believe, and that I was introduced to your school and to your foundation and to a completely new way to approach autism that I hadn't seen before in the school systems or in the clinics. And so this opened really my eyes to an alternative developmental approach beyond just instructing the kids or prompting the kids or more emotional, providing the emotional support that they need. And so thanks again for having me, and I'm looking forward to continuing my collaborative work with you and creating new avenues for research and for translational work at the scientific arena.